Jacobs Electronics Missouri Nationals in Troy, Missouri. The crowd goes wild as we pick up action and the pull-off of the 8,700-pound super stock class. John Dorman will be the first one to hook to the sled. Tractor called the Pumpkin Express.
Of course, the pumpkin refers to the orange sheet metal on the tractor. Took it out the first time, but it's going to have problems here in the pull-off. John Dorman going to come up way, way short, 135.08, as we check out the Howe family. This is Elmer doing the driving on the Little Temptation. They actually have another one called Big Temptation. Wasn't able to make it into the pull-off here tonight. Let's see what this beautiful black case will do. And again, there is no IH in this case. They are 100% case people.
No diesel in that one either. That's all alcohol. Elmer with a 252.51 run, and that'll give him the lead
at this point. But he's got a lot of tough competition coming up, especially this guy right here. The Marino team, Dave and BJ. BJ doing the driving. The son out of Macon, Missouri. They actually promote the ATPA World Finals in their hometown. And here they are running a regional event with the tractor pullers of the Midwest. But you better not count them out. They are very tough. They've taken over the lead. It does appear beautiful. Case IH 282 and change.
That was probably the prettiest pass of the night. Even though the sled's hitting as hard as it did, straight as an arrow, no wasted motion, it was a nice one.
No, it was a nice pass, and the sled is set just about right. It's a great track. The track crew's done a great job setting this up tonight.
Nothing better than the hometown boy leading. Good job.
Thank you.
Two tractors left here in the category, Tom, and this pull-off, 282.75 will be the mark to beat. This looks like a no-name tractor, if you will. Nothing on the side of this one whatsoever. Perry Drexage will be the driver.
Well, Perry just debuted this tractor. Doesn't have a name on it yet. Just trying to work some bugs out of it. Made a very good first pass. Here we see in the pull-off. Going to come up short, though, against the big alcohol tractors. Boy, having some problems with the clutch, not wanting to disengage there at the end.
Maybe they should call that one the 8-second tractor.
Maybe so. Let's go to Kepner.
Well, gentlemen, the Lincoln County Fairgrounds here in Troy, Missouri are only about 15 miles away from the town of Wentzville, Missouri. In Wentzville, Missouri is Mid-America Raceways, a combination road course and drag strip, and a town which this gentleman grew up, only 15 miles away from here. Bill Kulman, the driver of numerous nitro coupes and pro modifieds and a variety of drag racing cars, for that matter. I would presume if you're this close to this kind of action, you had to be influenced to some extent by tractor pulling in your youth?
I'll tell you what, right here in the heart of the Midwest, you see a lot of it. And the local county fairs always had plenty of it. And it's impressive to come and see what these guys can do and how they can turn tractors that start out with such low factory horsepower into the screaming monsters that they've got out here today.
Yeah, and you're considered one of the true technological gurus in drag racing and are willing to experiment with all kinds of strange stuff. What aspect of this do you find most intriguing?
The most intriguing on a lot of it is the internal engine work that these guys do. They go as deep into some of these engines as we do in the all-out drag racing motors. But secondly, I like the strategy. These guys have one shot. It's a one-shot deal.
Yeah, no time trials here.
No time trials, no second chances. And they actually have strategies. I watch some guys get the sled moving rather gingerly and then pour on the power. I watch other people attack it very early and then go from there. It's amazing to watch the strategy play out.
Ever anything that intrigued you enough to think, geez, maybe someday I ought to build one of these things and start hitting county fairs?
I'll say one thing about it. You do this, you don't burn up and catch on fire as much as I do. But the thing is, it's enjoyable. We have the facilities where I looked at some of these and I said, you know what? We could possibly do that and be a shorter ride home.
All kinds of new areas to experiment in, too.
Right. I listen to what the guys are telling me they're doing to their engines, and a lot of the stuff we do could apply. And then a lot of stuff they do might apply to what I do now.
You can see the gears turning, folks. He's thinking, how can Bill Kulman apply what he knows to this? Someday, maybe we'll get the chance to see.
Tom, he is a very sharp individual, and I'll tell you something else, another feather in his cap. He is the quickest door car driver in the world to this day at a 6th flat. Mr. Lee coming up next for this international.
Currently the leader in the tractor pullers of the Midwest, Jasper Engines points. But he will not take the victory here tonight, even though he does hold on to the points lead. Chuck Lee comes up short. Let's check out the final results. As you can see, no doubt about it, the Show Me Showdown just kills them.
Well, I'll tell you something. The big monsters are coming up next. Don't go anywhere now. Multi-engine mods.
Because life does not move in a straight line, Sony creates personal computers that are as dynamic as you are. VAIO R505 notebooks with Intel Pentium 3 processors are designed to accomplish your work, inspire your play, and keep you connected. Technology is so flexible, it adapts to your life. The R505JL comes with a detachable slim dock docking station with DVD-ROM. Call 1-866-852-SONY. Order your R505JL with Intel Pentium 3 processor for just $1599.99, and the DVD slim dock station is included at no extra cost, a $400 value. So call 1-866-852-SONY or visit our website. Go where life takes you. Sony VAIO R505JL.
The folks I work with at Speed Vision care absolutely about racing.
There are so many people with a passion that burns so deeply for motorsports.
We put the racing first. It is the Enthusiast Network.
This is the all-new Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. And the 2001 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Over the years, I've seen a lot of engine products, but one really works. It's Valco's Tube Grip Sealant System. You see, before, when you needed an engine sealant, it was complicated. Now with Valco, it's easy. One silicone, so you've always got the right one for the job. And with the Tube Grip, you can put your silicone right where you want it, faster, so you save time and money. Valco makes it easy, so your car's on the road, not on the rack.
Everybody's excited now because a lot of people come for this next class alone. We are talking about the Lucas Oil Super Mods, and this is a special mid-season invitational, Tom.
Very much so. Let's go to Brett Kepner to tell us about Dwayne Bergman's tractor.
When it comes to brute horsepower, the super modified tractor division has certainly always been one of the most powerful segments in motorsports. And it's the inventiveness and use of some rather bizarre power plants on occasion that makes this just as spectacular technology-wise as it does strictly from a visual standpoint. A great example is Dwayne Bergman's machine, the rambunctious entry that utilizes not one but two Allison V12 aircraft engines. Now, these are the same aircraft engines utilized in World War II in machines like the P-51 Mustang fighter plane and others. 1,710 cubic inches from the factory, over 20 gallons of oil in each one of these things, and easily 3,500 horsepower in a bone stock configuration. And we should point out that Bergman's front engine utilizes a centrifugal supercharger, which was the way they were manufactured, and the back engine uses turbochargers on top of it, something they added after the war to try and keep up with the new jet airplanes. But before you start thinking to yourself, well, come on, this is 60-year-old technology, there's a decal on the side of this vehicle that indicates that it may be cutting edge above the rest of the vehicles in the category. The Jacobs electronic sticker on this machine indicates that you are utilizing what is, well, an ignition system that has pretty much changed the way everybody races, certainly in this sport, certainly with this type of engines. Explain the basic idea behind the Jacobs system.
We went to Jacobs. They were down in Florida. We run into them, and we were running the MSD and the Mallory ignitions. And I asked them if they had something that would be applicable to a Allison, and they said they'd work on it or whatever, and they sent us 2 boxes about 2 months later, Pro 10s. And we're running one on the intake side, one on the exhaust side, and it's been working out great.
Now, this unit actually adjusts the amount of voltage going to the spark plugs depending on what kind of performance the engine needs at the time, correct?
Correct. That's what they told me it would do, and that's what it's done. How it does it, I have no idea.
Now I'm interested to know, though, is the Allison weird in its needs for voltage? In other words, does this engine require a tremendous more amount of voltage than, let's say, a supercharged V8?
Originally, the Allison was such a low RPM, the mag just didn't spin very fast, and you just didn't create much voltage. Well, now the Jacobs has picked it all up, and we can just dump the fuel to her now, and it's virtually just turned the Allison around. It's caught us back up again.
Amazing, and considering the fact that the Allisons were notorious for once they spun the tires, the fact that the driver had to basically get out of the throttle to get them to hook back up, that has changed the way that these machines run. Now keep in mind, in ATPA Jasper Pulling Series rules, you're allowed a maximum of 2 aircraft-type engines, which of course includes the V12 Allisons and, for that matter, the turbine power plants. However, when it comes to V8 engines, up to 4 of them are permitted. The Chrysler Hemis pay a slight price on supercharger overdrive for their obvious advantages.
I'll tell you, Tom, there is no sweeter sound in the country than a pair of Allisons in full song.
Well, let's listen to them. I love them, too. On his way to a very good run, he will set the mark to beat. Gets over a little bit on the side, having to get on the brakes, slows down his momentum. 285.31, that's a very good run.
It went to the left just a little bit. Let's go down to Brett.
Motors come to life, beautiful out of the hole, no spit sputter, that hooked immediately, and just, I think it put out everything the tractor was potential of.
Well, that is the best that I've seen that tractor run in a while. It certainly looked and sounded awesome.
Well, actually, Dwayne hasn't been able to run a whole lot this year. His wife, they just had their first child, so he's been staying close to home, but you'll see him on the Jasper Engines Grand American Tour a lot more next year as we check out another familiar face. This is Jeff Paulson's 4 supercharged Chevys out of Iowa. He's got them put on there every different direction you can think of.
Jeff Paulson at 267.80. When we come back, the Wayne Creech Dirt Dancer and the rest of the Super Mods.
When you're ready for that new tow vehicle, United Specialties has what you're looking for. United offers the twin-seater truck conversion in 3 different body styles: toter home, motorhome, and the toter home with a garage. They use the Freightliner FL70 and the FL112 as their standard chassis. These chassis are tough but provide an extremely comfortable ride. You can custom design your vehicle to fit your towing needs. Just give them a call at the number on your screen or visit them at UnitedTrendCenter.com.
This is a K&N fuel injection performance kit, performing replacement air filtration system for late model fuel injected cars. We call them FIPKs.
A K&N FIPK delivers virtually unrestricted airflow and as much as 26 additional horsepower.
And using K&N's washable filter element technology, you could drive around the world 41 times before needing a replacement. Ask for them by name, K&N filters, and more.
What I like most about Speed Vision is the fact that they cover a whole spectrum of racing. I can see people racing sedans in Australia. I can see people racing motorcycles in Europe. I can see people racing Formula One boats, IndyCar racing, Formula One, NASCAR, the GT Series, the endurance cars, the Le Mans race. It just goes on and on and on and on. And Speed Vision is a great way for me to unwind and check out what's going on in the racing world.
This Speed Vision coverage has been brought to you by K&N Filters. Ask for them by name. And Jacobs Electronics. For ignition improvements, call 888-IGNITION. And Valco Products. A wide array of products available at truck stops everywhere. Well, we promise you more Supermod action. Here comes one of the best in the country, Wayne Creech and the Dirt Dancer.
He has been the 3-time Lucas Oil runner-up in this category. Would like to take the category. Now, it's an invitational here tonight, so not everybody is here, only selected ones, and Wayne Creech, one of the selected, floating finish line, 3:03:07. We got to go to Kepner and talk to him.
This is an extremely hard-hooking track. Not much wasted motion there. Did you touch the brake at all?
A little bit, yeah, when you come out there. Actually, normally this tractor has a tendency to go a little bit to the left, but you come out wanting to go right, just touch the brake 5-6 feet, nothing major, and pretty much all we had, you know. Good run for us.
Tedder has his work cut out for him, to say the least. He's got to beat that distance set there by Wayne Creech. He's got a long way to drag 60,000 pounds, kid.
Scott's been one of the surprises of this year. He's really stepped up. He's done a great job and he's really been a tough tractor to beat. If everybody else falters just a little bit, he's been right there to steal the win.
That's right, and he's not running the high-dollar Chevys. These are actually cast-iron blocks, but he gets every inch of power you can actually get out of it. Got a very good bander chassis under this thing. It's going to cost him. It's going to cost him, kid.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm wrong. He beat him.
Boy, not only did he beat him, he pounded him at 312.
All over the track, and he beat him. That was awesome.
9 feet on him, and we'll change. And speaking of bizarre motors that Brent was talking about earlier, this one is definitely different.
Oh, 2 T64 helicopter motors on this. Dave Snyder sits right in front of him. The Legend pulls on. Of course, the Legend he's referring to, Art Arfons used to own this. Dave Snyder, who is actually a crop duster up in Michigan, is the owner. He gotta beat that incredible run set there by Scott Tedder. Cannot do it.
Not going to get it done. Well, I'll tell you what, though, he could definitely dust some crops with that thing.
What a showpiece, to say the least.
We'll take a look at our leaderboard. Congratulations to Scott Tedder and Mr. Twister. He'll win at 3:12.09, followed by Wayne Creech and the Dirt Dancer. Well, we'll take a look at our Duramax Diesel hot pull. Could be anybody else but.
You've got that right. Dave Snyder making an awesome run with the Legend pulls on the flames to show. It was awesome with the turbine.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Next week, we'll come to you from Goshen, Indiana.